For example, the client is purchasing an existing business and it's borderline marginal. I see a lot of this buying borderline marginal business because that's where they get the best deals. And then they're projecting the 5-year financials on top of that. We have to be really careful on the projections because, of course, the client is seeing all these great potential and they're projecting this huge growth in revenue even after the first year they take over ownership. And the question from an objective adjudicator's point of view, how in the world is that going to happen if the owner, the seller, has been owning and running this business for a decade or 2 decades? What are you going to do that's so dramatic that's going to grow the business double? So sometimes I have to ask a client, and with the help of Journey, to dial back the projections because it's not only unrealistic to achieve that, you're kind of setting yourself up for failure down the road. If you project something really high and your actual performance is actually a lot lower, when you're renewing the E2 visa, it is much better to overachieve your projection than underperform. It's all a matter of context. So it's almost better to be conservative with your projections. The thing that I thought would never happened in an RFE one time that really taught me a lesson. In an E2 renewal case, we receive an RFE asking for a copy of the business plan that supported the previous E2 application because the officer wanted to look at the projections in the prior E2 application and compare it to the real results in terms of financial performance and payroll projections, job creation projections. And thank goodness, because I've always been very conservative and careful, and I've always advised clients to dial it back to make at least the first couple of years conservative and safe. Better to overperform than underperform. And then when we submitted it, and that was the first time I got that kind of request, thank goodness we hit the projections for year 1 and 2. But I was thinking, oh my gosh, had the projections been very aggressive, we would have looked really bad. So we can't assume that they will never reference back to the previous projections. And then what they're doing is looking at the credibility. If your projections were actually materialized and realistic, that makes it easier for them to believe in your next projections for the next 5 years. But if you were way off, then that really hurts the credibility on whether they should even believe your new business plan anymore.